We all first and foremost want to feed our dogs the healthiest diet possible. What are some of the reasons that a plant-based diet is actually healthier than a meat-based one for dogs? Diana?
Yeah, that's the really kind of wonderful part about all of this is we're doing it, because we don't want to harm other animals, but it's absolutely 1,000% the healthiest track for our canine companions, assuming that we're giving them a complete and balanced diet. And that goes with whatever type of diet you're feeding. They have to have all of their nutrients. But in this book that I'm writing now, one of the things that we're writing about and researching is the correlation between meat-based animal ingredients in general, be it poultry, beef, dairy, and all kinds of chronic diseases, including cancer. And for example, there's something called bovine leukemia virus, and they now suspect that this is a zoonotic blood virus, leukemia, that's actually in people's DNA who eat foods of cows that have this virus. And you might say, well, that can't be that many cows. That can't get into the system. Actually, it's a massive, major part of the food system. Almost all cows have it. And unless they actually have leukemia, if they only have it in their blood, they're still a part of the food system. And it's actually been found to be in the DNA of cells of 38% of people who are tested actually have this bovine leukemia in their cells. So, you might think, well, I'm feeding a fresh food diet. I'm not feeding, pet food. Meat and poultry and dairy and fish are contaminated with all kinds of environmental pollutants, with viruses, PCBs, dioxins. I'm sure Dr. May can go on and on about this as well. So the lower down on the food chain that you eat, the less toxins have bioaccumulated. Toxins bioaccumulate up the food channel with every animal that then eats the animal below it. By the time you get to the top of the food chain, you are eating all of these toxins that have started in the soil and bioaccumulated up and are in the fatty tissues of the animals that you're eating. So the lower down on the food chain that you eat, the healthier that you're eating. And I'm just talking about fresh foods. I'm not even talking about the meat-based pet foods that are the absolute worst of all of this. And Dr. May might want to address that too.
Sure, absolutely. Bioaccumulated toxins are a huge concern in meat foods. Any meat, even if it's organic, is going to have persistent organic pollutants by virtue of bioaccumulation up the food chain. And in addition to PCBs and dioxins, we have arsenic found in most chicken, mercury found in a lot of the seafood products, and any number of other carcinogenic chemicals that concentrate as they go up the food chain. So inherently, plant-based diets are cleaner, healthier, lower in toxins. And we know that one of the cornerstones of health is minimizing toxin exposure. When we consider that cancer is an epidemic for dogs and very high for cats as well, 50% of dogs and 40% of cats suffer from cancer these days, it makes sense to reduce their toxin exposure through minimizing the food toxins they're eating.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Diana.
Well, and Marlene, I just want to say very quickly too, I find it interesting if a dog, heaven forbid, does get cancer, and the prevailing trend these days seems to be feed them more meat, feed them more meat, feed them more meat. And sadly, meat is riddled with carcinogenic ingredients, and yet we're feeding it in the hopes of getting rid of cancer. We're literally feeding cancer to stop cancer. So we might want to think about that, and it's not just prevention, but once a dog actually has cancer, what are you doing about it?
Thank you, Diana.